Hi friends, Kiela here for my video journal. Today I'm going to be chatting a little bit while I get ready for, I have an Inns of Court meeting this evening, and I have spent the majority of today working in my pajamas, which of course, in today's world when I don't actually have to go anywhere to do most of my work, and I talk to most people on the phone, some meetings by Zoom, but really a lot of them by phone. I spend more days doing that these days than pre-pandemic, which I think is absolutely lovely. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I personally love working from home and always have. But it does mean that I'm a little more likely to have to get ready for if I am going to have a Zoom meeting, which is what the Inns of Court meeting will be via Zoom today. So anyway, I didn't think I was going to have really enough time afterward, so I thought I would just do this while getting ready. So anyway, starting out, I'm freshly showered. My hair, I just did the curl smoothing, and with, I can't remember the name of the product right now, but my skin is freshly washed from the shower, and then I have sort of the basic things I put on, which are for daytime. I have these new serums that I am trying, and I really like them. This one, I don't even know how to say this, hyaluronic acid serum, is a twice daily thing, morning and also at bedtime. And then for morning or daytime, this is not morning, but daytime, combined with this vitamin C serum. This is for my skin and for healthy skin. And then the evening, the change is just, instead of the vitamin C, it's the hyaluronic acid serum plus the retinol serum. So I'm trying those out. So far, I like them, but it's too soon to see really any change. The other thing is just daily moisturizing lotion. This was a lotion that was recommended by my dermatologist when I was troubleshooting. This is a couple years ago, I think, maybe more by now. What products to eliminate and what products to consider using, because I had developed eczema. And so when I was diagnosed with that, this was one of the things I started using, and I can use it anywhere on my body, and I actually like it for my face too because it's nice and light. It's not too greasy, and it does well under makeup. So, and then the final thing is, this is a tinted moisturizer with high SPF from Bare Minerals called Complexion Rescue. It has an SPF 30. I use this every day also, and a lot of times it's my primary makeup. I almost never do foundation, and then whether or not I do anything, over my skin, this plus a translucent powder, which I'll get to in a moment. It just depends on the day. It's my normal a day when I'm getting ready for the day, so to speak, but I'm not necessarily going anywhere. Or if I am, it's just going to be the hardware store or the grocery store, maybe a Zoom meeting with my team as opposed to a client or a Zoom court or something like that. Then I'm probably just going to do this plus the powder, and then a nice red lipstick, that my favorite lipstick. But today, because I have this meeting, I think I'm going to go with medium makeup. In other words, not all the way to contouring and highlighting, but still doing color. So more than my lipstick only look. Anyway, this is already on. I usually do this, I put this on at the sink because it does require, or at least the way I do it, I put a little bit in my palm. I, do like this, and I, spread it all over my face, much like I would sunblock. Really, this is kind of my daily sunblock, but it is also moisturizing and has, it's tinted, so it kind of helps smooth out my the appearance of my complexion. So that's it. And next step is, first of all, I always use a washcloth. This one is a microfiber cloth. I also have regular washcloths that I use, and it just depends. I mean, these fit a little better in the drawer of my vanity, so these are the ones I use at my vanity typically, but they both work well. Also, one of these cosmetic sponges. I like to take this matte finish NYX, it's a setting spray, and make that sponge just a little bit damp, and kind of squeeze it to make sure that the spray gets in. It's just, you just want it lightly damp, and it helps blend just a little bit better. Now, first thing is to even out. There's areas where, when I put on the tinted moisturizer, I want to even that out a little bit in places where you can kind of see the finger marks, or it has a tendency to have a little more right around my nose, and just kind of even it out a little bit. So that's what I'm doing first. And today, the thing that came up that was just really made a huge impression on me is a funny cat video. That's not normally my thing, but this is actually not just a cat video. And it's going viral, so you may already even know what I'm talking about. I posted it also on my Facebook page and on my public profile. I shared it and posted it because this is the funniest thing I've seen in probably more than 10 years. And it gave me such a good laugh, actually multiple times. When I showed it to my husband, when I showed it to my older son, it's going viral in my attorney groups. So it's a combination, Zoom fail, cat video, attorney joke. I mean, lawyer joke. It's funny, and you got to watch it. And it really kind of, I don't know, it being shared that way in like 2 of my attorney groups and, you know, people online and my own friends once I posted it, you know, laughing. And I mean, everybody having such a great laugh from it. For me, it really sort of underscored, you know, how much, I mean, just being human and being, you know, part of, you know, this larger group of humans, you know, I mean, and by that, I really mean all humans, but, you know, and it's more apparent in the groups that you're more familiar with, the people that you're more familiar with. So that was really, it was uplifting. It was, you know, lighthearted. It was certainly welcome in these relatively trying times. And so I was just thinking about that. Oh, and by the way, that was the, and I'll probably switch between these things. I'm not blind. I just have the reading glasses issues because of my age. I'll be 50 this year, 50. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, so because of my age, I do have readers. I otherwise have actually pretty good sight, but it means that things that are close to me, I can't see that well. So my camera, I'm not able to see that well. This lighted mirror has a magnification one that is really awesome. It means that I don't have to have glasses to put on makeup, which of course that would be kind of difficult, especially with eye makeup. Anyway, this is, it's a combination. It can help. It's really lightweight and I like that. So even though I have mature skin, it's called, and I tend to avoid powders in general, this powder is okay for my skin. Also, it doesn't tend to clump and, you know, get caught in, you know, wrinkles and fine lines and all that, very much. So I do appreciate this. So it helps set the tinted moisturizer. It also helps reduce shine. And as I go forward, you'll see that I also use it for things like, you know, the cream, eyeshadow that I use and so forth to set that. So this is something I use multiple times during the, makeup application process. All right. So I'm good to go on that. Next up for me is spots. So I do have adult acne, and depending on the time of month, I think it's cyclical and I think it's hormonal. Depending on the time of month, I have more or less of it. Sometimes people are kind of surprised to hear that I have adult acne. And sometimes I do a better job of taking care of it. Really good skincare routine helps, as does this. This is a medicated concealer, and it has the same stuff that, you know, just regular benzoyl peroxide, I think. I don't remember for sure, but it's Neutrogena skin clearing blemish concealer. And I forgot to mention, this is in number 10 light, and my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, the tinted moisturizer, that is in Bamboo 5.5. I have a warm tone to my skin, so that's in the warm family range. And they have tons and tons of different color options, and you can't necessarily go by what I use because your skin is probably different. I recommend with those, that is one of the things that's probably worth going in person to one of the department stores to see. And I guess during the pandemic, that's a lot harder. But it's really hard to pick out skin color when, you know, online, obviously. I saw some, you know, I actually saw an ad recently on Facebook. I forget which product that supposedly is like amazing. Their process for picking out colors for foundation and such. They say, at least they claim, yields a really good result, skin tone match and all, but I don't use foundation, so I don't like foundation. I did experiment with using foundation and just found that I don't like the way it feels. I actually don't like my skin to look too smooth, and it feels sort of plastic. So nice middle ground is tinted moisturizer with the concealer, and then So you may have seen I use the concealer primarily. I apply it on the areas where, I may have a pimple or something that may be healing. And then I kind of spread it out a little bit more as I go. All right, next step for me is going to be, since I'm not normally, if I were doing full makeup, at this point I would put on, well, actually, let me see. Yeah, I don't really have enough time to do full makeup. If I were going to do full makeup at this point, I would do my contouring and some extra highlighting, but I'm going to skip over that step and I'm just going to go straight to the color. Well, actually, that's not true. There's one highlighting that I'm going to do. But first, I like to clean up my lips. So there's areas where a little bit of my tinted moisturizer might get on my lips. And then I think that gets kind of muddy with lipstick. So I usually just take this and wipe off any excess. Next up, I use one of two products, and they're pretty much interchangeable. They're a little bit different. I have favorites for, I like them both, different reasons. I don't have time to go into the reasons, but basically these are, the purpose of these are highlighters for under the eye. And I do tend to get just a little bit dark under there. I don't have a problem as much as some people there, but I do like to put a little bit of highlighter. I notice it looks a little better. And that's even if I'm not doing full contouring and highlighting. And so I'm going to use this one today. This one is, it is called It Bye Bye Under Eye Eye Lift in a Tube. And it's got both, so dual-ended, full coverage, anti-aging concealer and brightener. The brightener is what I use. This was something that I ended up picking up when I was looking for a good concealer. And, the Ulta people always end up selling me something different than I go in there for. Not always, but it happens a lot. Seems like I did not like the concealer, but I absolutely love the brightener, which is not what I was there for. In fact, I wish they sold it separately so I could just buy the brightener. Anyway, so I take that and I just add a little bit under my eyes. And then up here as well. Gonna kind of highlight. And then I'm going to blend that in. Where's my, oh, there it is. Beauty blender. And patting is usually the best way. Now I have these interesting little I think they're interesting, these little skin flaps here that I believe are a result of the Carib Indian in my heritage. My mom and mom's side of the family are from Trinidad, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And we believe, we haven't done any of those tests to really scientifically establish it, but we believe we have Carib Indian in us in addition to some other melting pot aspects, including African and Arawak Indian. And then we actually also have some Caucasian, well, as you can tell, but most of my Caucasian comes from my father. But we have some on my mom's side too, and that is Portuguese, I believe. At least that's family lore. All right, so once I have nicely patted in that highlighter, next I'm going to take a brush. This is a nice soft brush. I don't remember what kind it's called. It's just the one that works best, and make sure I smooth in any additional little places where I maybe didn't get it as nicely blended. So that's there. Next is my lipstick. This is my favorite lipstick, and it's what I usually use when I do my lipstick only look, which the lipstick only look pretty much is this plus the lipstick and then done. So yeah, this one, oops, I put the glasses on so that I could tell you what it is. It's Revlon Color Stay Overtime in Always Sienna, which is a really lovely deep red color. Not a bright red color, and it just tends to look really good on me. I'm sure it would look good on lots of people. And it is my go-to. on the bottom. Okay, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I let that dry a little bit. This is just how this works. Once it's dry, and I can tell that it's drying because the skin starts feeling kind of tight, the skin on my lips, then I will use the gloss and then I will blot. In the meantime, while that's drying, I can move on to the next step, which, since I'm not going to do the contouring and highlighting today, I am going to go straight to the eye makeup. Now, as I said, I have mature skin, so I don't use regular eyeshadow anymore. Instead I use a cream eyeshadow. My favorite is this one here. It is NARS Velvet Shadow Stick in, what's the color? Corfu. That's Corfu. And, well, let's see if you can, oh, there we go. Anyway, so that one is my favorite. I have been trying others, and I've got a couple that I kind of like, but I still don't really have any that I like as much as this one. And there's at least one more that I want to try. There's one that is made by, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is my dark, and it's kind of my go-to for evening and anytime I want something that's just a little bit darker, more intense. I just realized I actually probably would have, if I'd been thinking about it, I probably would have gone with the light. Since I'm not doing the contouring and highlighting, usually I'll go to a lighter look on the eyeshadow, but that's okay. This will be fine. So I just kind of color in my lid with that. And that's it for the color. I am going to, though, put in a highlighting one. And then once I do that, I actually also blend it in. And this is, just another brush. I forget. Let's see. Readers. This is Sigma Domed Blending Brush E43. And I love this brush so much. I have another one that's a light one, same brand. And it's really perfect for the job. Better than my e.l.f. brushes that are similar, a little bit smaller, a little stingier on the bristles. So that's just, I'm just blending it to the edge of the lid and then making the top line a little smoother too. It's okay, it doesn't have to be precise. Okay, and then kind of rub out any excess. Next, I'm going to put a little bit of this highlighting shadow. And again, these are all cream shadows because of my mature skin. I put this in the corners. I think it looks nice. It's kind of a nice little bit of a contrast. And also on the top of my flap there. And then same thing, once I add that, I'm going to take, this is my e.l.f. blending eyeshadow blending brush, and I don't like quite as much. It still works just fine. And same thing, just going to kind of smooth it out, blend it in on both sides. Okay. Next is setting with, we're going back to the Neutrogena Shine Control Powder, and just very lightly, don't want very much of this, setting that so that it stays in place. And go under a little bit, since I did do some of that highlighter underneath. Okay, so I'm done with that powder for setting. The next step for setting is actually going to be a dark one for the eyeliner. Let's see, and is that next? That is next. Right, so my eyeliner. This is a new eyeliner for me, and I actually really love it more than the eyeliner I was using up until now. And what's cool is it's maybe half the price or less. I was using a My favorite up until recently was a Clinique one, which is still pretty good, but this one is by NYX, and I don't even remember why I ended up trying it. It's brown color. It just says retractable eyeliner, but it is very creamy, and it's a a pen version, which is what I prefer, like my Clinique. So this one, I'm just going to do a line across the top, but I'm going to kind of do it in stages, lightly, and then I'm going to blend it in and make it, just soften it up. So here we go. Not too heavy, not too thick, just kind of lightly color it in all the way across the top lid, as close to the lash line as I can. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side. Okay. It's actually a little tempting. I think today I will. I'm going to put some on underneath as well. And I just do dots. When I do it underneath, I just do dots. And I'll blend it all in. I do like it to be a little lighter on the bottom, so that should accomplish that. And this is another awesome brush that is specifically for blending eyeliner. And so I'm just going to go along each line and soften it. I don't know if you can hear that, but my younger son is squealing. He and his father are getting into an argument. I'm guessing, given the time, it's probably something to do with playing a video game, but I could be wrong. Or maybe with homework, but usually he's done with his homework by now. My husband, I'm so lucky that my husband serves the role as what I call no, that's not my husband. That's my older son. He's probably antagonizing his younger brother. But my husband will probably intervene. They're all downstairs right now. Oh yeah, my husband is, thank goodness, I don't have to get involved. My husband is dealing with it. What I was saying, I didn't finish, is that my husband, think I'm really fortunate that my husband plays the role of education coach for our kiddos, especially our younger son, who is only 9, which isn't really quite old enough to be independent when it comes to distance learning. And thank goodness that Alex has been able to help him with that. It really takes a lot of effort. Okay, here we go. Yep, that's a smokier eye than I usually do with the bottom, and pulling the bottom in too. Usually I wouldn't go this dark unless I was actually also doing the full makeup with the contouring and highlighting, but that's all right. I mean, it's good to do it a little different sometimes, right? And just kind of going with what feels right for right now. All right, the lipstick is now dry, so it's time to put this, the gloss layer on. Okay. And then I'm going to blot to get all the excess. There's been too much excess this time. Oh, there is some on my teeth. Tissue on that also. This video is probably going to be way too long. I do like the shorter ones, but okay. So putting away, I do still have the eyebrow brush that And I'm going to do the new mascara this time and put away the things I've already used. That's one of the ways that I don't forget certain pieces of my makeup, which I've done before. Okay, and I think I'm done with my, so now I actually use a different cosmetic sponge every day. I have a pretty large collection of them. There's just a few in here because some of them are in the wash, but basically this is usually about half full when they're all washed. And I use a different one every day because I read a dermatology book at one point a few years ago that encouraged that. And that was actually part of how I got the adult acne under control, by reading that book. And one of the things that it recommended is using a fresh beauty blender, also fresh washcloth when you're showering every day. Because our skin, dead skin cells are pretty much a perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Apparently that can sort of exacerbate some skin problems, including acne. All right, so next step, let's see. Yes, next step is, oh no. Now that I have put on the eyeliner, the next step, and it's not uncommon for me to forget this one, but it's a really good one. It's a subtle difference, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm using, this is actually a, for eyebrows, filling in eyebrows with powder, which I don't do that. I use an eyebrow pencil, but this, because it's a very dark brown, is actually quite good for using it as a setting powder for eyeliner. So before I figured out this trick, before I learned this trick, I should say, sometimes my eyeliner would transfer to my upper lid, and which is a really unattractive result and not desirable. And it was a beauty vlogger on YouTube that at some point that I picked up the tip from, to use this kind of powder to set your eyeliner, and I have never looked back. It also tends to add just a little bit more smokiness and a kind of a diffuse look to it. So that is it for the eye color. But what did I do with, oh, there we go. Now I need to put on my mascara. So first, curling. You know, most of my adult life I actually didn't do this step. It was in my 40s at some point, I think about mid 40s, that I realized my eyes looked washed out compared to one of my friend's eyes when we were both in a photograph. And I couldn't figure out why, because I was using a really nice black, rich mascara. I tried using artificial lashes, gave that a try, and I just couldn't get used to them. They felt weird. I didn't like them. And then it was actually my sister, one of my sisters, that I was talking to and talking about my search, and she asked me if I was curling my eyelashes. I was like, no, I've never really done that. I didn't really understand the point. And lo and behold, that I really didn't know. She told me why, and so I started doing it. And sure enough, it really does make a difference and allows your eyes to pop a little more, shows off the mascara, really basically is the deal. Okay, so having curled my lashes, now I'm doing the mascara. And here's another tip I learned from a beauty vlogger on YouTube. Do the lower lashes first. That saves a lot of mess. Do the lower lashes first, then do the upper lashes, and then let it all dry before you do the next step, which is to clean it up once it's dry with a Q-tip. Because, there's little bits that you get on your skin. Sometimes I do better than others. This mascara is also a new one for me, and I absolutely love it. I have two mascaras that I love right now for different reasons. This is the newer one. It's also the less expensive one. But I'm not 100% sold on it over my pre-existing one because it doesn't clean up as well, honestly. When it's time to take it off, the other one's a lot easier to remove. But it looks great on, and I can do 2 coats with no problem. So yeah, I'll tell you in a minute what it is. Once I have I have it in place, then I can look at the tube. Okay. There we go. Do I need a second coat? Maybe so. Well, need is not necessarily the right word, but oh, it just got some on my lid. Okay, now I'm going to let that dry, and while I do, I can tell you this is. I got this on Amazon. It was just had a really great reviews. Cabaret Premier Artistic Volume Mascara, and this is in. I guess the brand is Vivienne Sabot, Paris, and it says 01. It's a pretty deep black. I don't know if they have any other colors, color offerings, but I really like it. All right, gonna let that dry some more while I do the next step, which is going to be to use my eyebrow pencil to fill in just a little bit. I like to keep it pretty light. Oh, and I love this eyebrow pencil. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in dark brown. I've tried multiple other this is pretty expensive. I don't remember exactly how much, but I've tried multiple other brands and options, and I never liked any of them. I have not liked any of them nearly as much as this one. Okay, so I just do like basically a few little dots in the areas where I want to fill in. This is another thing that with mature women, our eyebrows, probably also men, but I don't think men worry about it as much. Our eyebrows tend to get a little more sparse as we age. And so I'm really just kind of filling them back to the way they used to be. And I don't fill them all the way in, just I don't know if you can see this, but a few little dots in the right areas. And then I use the little brush on the other end, or you can just use one of these mascara brushes, but ideally one that does not have mascara in it. Or I got this special one, which is also for mascara, but I only use this one for my eyebrows. So either one, but you can use the one that it comes with to then brush it. And you're sort of blending it at the same time, kind of blending it and use the strokes in the direction of the hairs of your eyebrow. That gets it looking the most natural. That one's blended, that one's not yet. Okay. When I first started using eyebrow pencil, I think I went heavier, a lot heavier than I do now. And I just like a little more natural look. Okay, so now the mascara should be dry. So I will take a fresh Q-tip and just gently, in all areas, kind of examine and gently rub the areas where there's any extra mascara that they got on my skin that should not be there. And it usually, because I have set my eyeshadow, it usually won't disturb the eyeshadow as long as I'm gentle. And so that's all good on the right eye. Now on the left, doing the same thing. And there was an area in here where I really kind of got it. And I might need to touch up my, yeah, I think I will touch up my, I usually don't have to do this step, but I really got myself good there. So I'm going to touch it up. This is touching up my eyeliner just a little bit in that same area that I just had to wipe off. And I think I'll run through real quick the steps, kind of smooth it a little bit again, or blend it, I should say. Okay, and go set it just a little bit too. And that's with, the dark brown powder. Okay, so that should be good. That should be good to go. And let's see, anything else? Yes, one last step, and that is color on my cheeks. And I like to add just a little bit here. Some people put a little bit on their chin as well, and I'm kind of neutral about that. Sometimes I try it, but I haven't really noticed it making a big difference. Maybe I'm not doing it right. But it goes on the apple. Again, cream, because I have a mature skin. So a little bit, just kind of dab it on the apple of my cheeks, and then I'm gonna blend it with my fingers. But while I have it out, I'm gonna just do right here also on that brow bone. And again, I'll blend that with my fingers. Just because you just want it to be kind of subtle color, not going for bright here. The only thing I usually do bright is my lipstick. This is not the most bright. This is the darkest that I usually do. Okay, and so I'm going kind of up along my cheekbone. I don't even know if that's the right way. Again, I'm sure I learned that from a beauty vlogger. There's probably different theories on how you should use blush. I know there were when I was growing up. I'm using powder blush then. Okay, and that's pretty much it. This is the medium makeup look. Even though the color is heavy, there's a lot less makeup on my actual skin because I don't have the contouring and highlighting going, but the color is pretty much the same. I don't have a lot of different looks. I am certainly no makeup pro. Anyway, that's it for today. I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.